The American film producer Walt Disney had a term for his employees, a term that conveyed the incredible ability to turn images conjured in someone's mind into something more tangible, something you could actually touch or see. He called them Imagineers, a mix of imagine and engineer. Think about Disneyland or the iconic Mickey Mouse and how they started first in someone's head and then were given life. And even if you played the #1 selling video game, Minecraft, players do something very similar. They create whole new worlds and nations. Where? Well, right here, from the mind, and translate that into something that any of us can actually see on a TV screen. Benedict Anderson, the guy we're going to talk about, the great historian, basically says that just like Walt Disney's Imagineers can imagine something and bring it to life, so too are nations. Like the United States, where it was born first in the mind and brought to life by a bunch of people. According to Anderson, there's something pretty special that connects even the die-hard, for example, Trump supporter on the one side and the passionate BLM advocates on the other. Or in his words, nations are imagined political communities, or that we should see our country not just as a spot on a map, but as a shared vision, a dream we all share, the sort of city on a hill. What Benedict Anderson's saying is pretty deep, that nations aren't just pieces of land. They're actually ideas born first in people's minds. It's like our nation started as a dream or a video game and then became real life. Well, you might wonder, why should we care about all this? Because the idea of a nation applies to everyone, no matter where you're from, and is a major part of what makes you, you. Whether you're American, Egyptian, Italian, your nation is a big part of who you are. It influences how you see the world and how you connect with others and the values you hold close to your heart. Our national identity, it's like the story we tell ourselves about who we are. Like as Americans, for example, we see it as our duty to fight for freedom, democracy, natural rights, while an Egyptian might see their national identity as being from the mother of the world, Ummat Dunya, and a nation that has a rich history that has given the world everything from the first paper or papyrus to science and civilization. So it's not just about geography, it's about a shared set of beliefs, a shared set of memories and experiences, and most importantly for Anderson, a shared set of agreements. Anderson argues that even in the smallest country, you cannot possibly know everybody. And so you will need to have an image in your mind of a community. And even in this community, what you all share is a deep need for a common national identity. It's like having this ongoing story that is created and then told and retold through history books and popular culture. It is further imagined as sovereign or having power over its territory because the concept of nationalism was born in an age in which Enlightenment questioned the legitimacy of divinely ordained kings and queens who just passed down their powers. And finally, here's the kicker. Anderson's telling us that nations aren't just imagining themselves once and calling it a day. Instead, they're in a constant process of reimagining or redefining themselves, especially when it comes to the big three, what we'll dive into in our next video, imagining and reimagining their language, their culture, and my favorite, their borders. Make sure to stay tuned for some really interesting stories in our next video. Ring that bell so you get notified when we post that new content.